And welcome back to the StarLadder Major here live from Berlin in Germany. We have got some interesting games for you today. The first of which is going to be Liquid versus the likes of AVANGAR. AVANGAR having beaten Renegades and Renegades pick of Vertigo 16-13, and Liquid having a surprise loss to NRG yesterday.
Yeah, we had a lot of really interesting matches. I think the NRG match was one of the most impressive to me. But I think we had also some foreshadowing of that, given some of the performances we saw previously in the tournament from them on Dust 2, for example. It was very interesting to see them against AVANGAR, for example, whereby they just completely shut them down. And that kind of looked maybe like, oh, perhaps it's just some inconsistencies from AVANGAR as well. But at the same time, for NRG to be able to replicate that does make it look like they are going to be very, very difficult to deal with, because they have this good mixture of routine and everybody's hitting those individual peaks that you want to see on a team like that.
Here are the current scores. Vitality, Astralis, Ents and NRG 2-0. Liquid a surprise 1-1, I think it's fair to say. And they'll be joined by FaZe, G2 and Na'Vi, Crazy, MIBR, Mousesports and AVANGAR. So loads of teams 1-1 at the moment. So this is where the pickups start to get interesting. We've got the likes of North 0-2 at the moment. I think that's going to be a surprise for some. Renegades as well. Dream Eaters, I think the 0-3 pick, yes, they've had a lot of surprises, but obviously there's a high caliber of teams here overall now, so things are only going to get more difficult as time goes on. Crazy though. There's a lot for them to do in the matches to come. They're going to be playing FaZe Clan later on today. Here are the matchups. Na'Vi versus Mousesports, MIBR G2, Renegades, Dream Eaters. I honestly think that is a very scary matchup.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to predict. I think, obviously, Dream Eaters, they seem to be able to be very dangerous, but sort of only maybe for a half sometimes. But if that half is strong enough, they can obviously make a really big impression and even potentially threaten the win over teams like Renegades, for example. But this should really be the point in which Renegades bounce back. There shouldn't be a world in where they should on paper lose this, but it is best of one. So they should be
best of three.
Oh, right, of course, that is a best of 3 one. Yeah, so
yeah, and NIP versus North that will come after that. So Dan and I are going to take you through the first 3 games on this stream, I do believe. So Liquid, AVANGAR, FaZe Clan, Crazy, Renegades, and Dream Eaters. I'm interested in FaZe Clan, Crazy as well. Obviously, we've got the battle of the cousins there. I think, I mean, there are so many people from a similar region in that match, including Yanko. I feel like afterwards, there should just be a barbecue run by Yanko. Then that's really cool. One season of ECS, we had this giant house with a pool and a barbecue, and Yanko was staying with us. And we had a barbecue by the pool. That was pretty awesome. Good times, man. He's the one. But like Serbians and barbecues are just like, they go hand in hand. Anyway, moving into the current match, it is the likes of AVANGAR. They've got a lot to prove. It hasn't been a fantastic major for them so far. They have made it this far, however, but they have been inconsistent against a tougher opponents. In some matches, it feels like they've been smashed, and versus the weaker ones, they've been in control. But now they've got a lot to do.
Yeah, we had a particularly interestingly strong performance from them against Renegades yesterday on Vertigo, which we were able to cast. And many said that Renegades big favorites. Flusher made that tweet, for example, showing that or suggesting that, hey, this is kind of weird that it went to Vertigo. This is probably one of the best spots for AVANGAR to actually beat what should be the better team, which in Renegades. But AVANGAR did take it over the line, and you can see they are pretty comfortable in the likes of Train and Vertigo, to the go-to maps as far as they are concerned. And they have a lot of, I think yesterday, one thing that was really encouraging for me is that we saw Buster with a very good performance against Renegades. Renegades were a team, like, it's not that Renegades were weak on that map. Like, Renegades played really well on Vertigo. AVANGAR just had a good game plan, and I think we had that overperformance from Buster that kind of really helped to take them over the line, as well as a couple key clutches, such as Sanji's, which we saw in the opening video there, as we lead into this day.
Veto spoilers. Yeah, AVANGAR, you don't know you never know what's going to happen really with them from opponent to opponent. I think with a team like this, lack of familiarity certainly helps, but they've played 6 times, Liquid and AVANGAR. They've played 8 times actually, sorry. No, 7 times. God, I can't count, can I? So there's been 6 wins for Team Liquid and 1 win for AVANGAR, which was on Mirage. Recently they came close on Overpass, where it was 16-12 for Liquid, but obviously they're going to be a heavy favorite coming into this one.
And a lot of those matches are from quite some time ago, so it's given the roster change as well. It's going to be pretty fresh, generally speaking, as far as Liquid and AVANGAR are concerned. And I think they have been trying to reinvent themselves over time. I think this is a team that's been working really hard for a very long time, AVANGAR, and they had a pretty stable roster for a pretty extended duration, obviously only recently changing up a player for Adren and getting him in there. And in theory, that should be a very strong, like the right kind of a move to make. You got a lot of youngsters or younger players, and Adren has proven time and again. I mean, he's won a major. He helped to win that Krakow major with Gambit. And he's a very experienced player. I think someone that can be a huge benefit to a team like AVANGAR. So hopefully it does help them. But we haven't seen the kind of prolific Adren major performances that we're used to, James. Typically at majors, he really does shine, but it's been a little bit inconsistent so far.
Yeah, I do wonder if he's in some roles for AVANGAR, which he's not used to playing, kind of learning on the job and so on. Anyway, moving over to the Liquid side, it hasn't been the hottest start for them, but I honestly feel like the top 2-3 teams are susceptible to dropping a map in the best of one stage of a major. So I think it's weirdly scary to pick them. I think that's where they're likely to capitulate, but that's come and gone. And I think we'll see a much better Team Liquid now. Not everybody's hot just yet, but look at those stats. It's hard to take a map off of Team Liquid at the moment. Ents could tell you that.
Yeah, and also losing to NRG, of all the best of ones to lose, that's a team that's extremely familiar with you, firstly, and secondly has some of the best players in the world as well on it. So I think that's one that they can't feel too bad about, especially on Dust 2. Dust 2 can be a map where it can be quite swingy in that sense. It can be quite a bit of variance. So either way, I don't think they'll be too worried about that. Going up against AVANGAR, it feels like, James, there shouldn't be a world where Liquid there's any exploitable weakness for AVANGAR to look to.
And here is the head-to-head. Mostly 2018, as you can see there, as Dan mentions. Yeah, Liquid will come into this with confidence, and I think they've always been a team which has been considered a very one of the more disciplined teams in Counter-Strike. But the sheer level of individual skill, along with that discipline, as a team, as individuals, the angles they take and so on, but the sheer firepower on the squad is insurmountable for a lot of teams at the moment. But again, a best of one is the best opportunity you'll get versus Liquid. That is to the advantage, I think, of any other opponent. So many maps you can veto, so you can try to place your strengths. But again, their map pool is going to be deeper than most people, so that will only go so far. They've got to have solid strats at AVANGAR. I think they need to focus on trying to break Liquid in the important rounds. A gimmick round here and there maybe gives them a chance. Elige, top 3 at the moment on the HRTV rankings, has been quite solid. And I think he had a good game yesterday. I didn't see the game myself, but I saw some comments on it. But we'll need the whole team to deliver today.
Yeah, Elige is quite remarkable. It's been great to watch his development. I think you and I in particular, James, we saw Elige really at his first big lands, in terms of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, coming across, joining Team Liquid as a young prospect. And that was back when I believe Daps was actually even leading the team. And that was, in London in 2015 or something, or early 2016. So it's come a long way since then. And you can see here's the veto. I think, as you guys can probably already maybe tell the map if you're particularly, if you've been sort of paying attention to what's been on screen so far, as some of the monitors have shown, of course, where they're going to be ending up. So it'll be no surprise. But this veto process, again, as far as AVANGAR are concerned, you're looking to find the map where you're most comfortable on, and Liquid, of course, are probably not too concerned. As we saw in the statistics, the map that they have played the most is Overpass. That's a good one for them. It's a map that's been extremely important to have a strong veto. Is Overpass. Overpass and Nuke are particularly important, and we'll see that it will indeed be an Overpass. So Overpass is also really good because you're never shut out. Like, on both sides, you can take the initiative. You have a lot of ways to do that. There's always a lot of options. It's not like a Dust 2 where if you get really shut down in the early few rounds on Dust 2 on the CT side and your economy's kind of ruined, it's a really difficult comeback. On this map, there's always options.
Just waiting for Elige to connect to the map at the moment, and then we will be good to go. So here are the recent results on Overpass. God, they really did get deleted in that final, didn't they? 16 to 2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love Overpass. I feel like for the longest time, Cash was very stimulating, but the the younger maps will always take over at some point. So Overpass, I'm still thoroughly enjoying. I think it might be, I don't know if I have a favorite map after 9,000 hours of CSGO.
I guess
I don't dislike playing any maps, but I don't know that I have a strong favorite either.
I feel like there's a fair odds from the strafe there. I
think that's the voters at home. There's a solid 5% from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I mean, it's something though where I think you have to separate it between two things. Like one is what do you think the best map is in professional play, and then one is what is your favorite map to play? Because favorite map that can change all the time, right? You know, based on how you're feeling and so on and so forth in the game. But what do you think is the best map in the professional play? For me, I think Overpass makes a very strong argument that it's one of the best maps at the very elite level.
What would your criteria be for a best map? How did you define a best map?
I think as far as the best map is concerned, for me it's effectively a map that requires or has the largest amount of possibilities or options for both teams on both sides to find ways to win or change things up. And Overpass gives you that. It's tactically extremely complex on both sides. There's so much that you can do, so many ways that you can find an advantage on the map, and that's what makes it really interesting, because it becomes kind of like in the early, mid, and late phases of Overpass. There's a lot of variation that can be found that is viable.
Whenever I'm like solo queuing and I play Overpass and someone says I'm going to play long, part of me dies inside, because it tells me that there's a there's a distinct lack of understanding there. If you think you can just play long every single round.
Yep.
But then that's not really something you can solve in in the space of one game, but also limits what you can do. Like if you're playing, say, around toilets or something with an AWP, you're basically playing alone.
That's actually a really good point, James, because one of the things about this map is that it feels like on the T side, you almost need an extra player to really cover, like to really clear everything out properly. You have to kind of sacrifice certain spots, and in the sense that you won't have enough nades to clear everything. You have to kind of pick and choose. And I think on the CT side, it kind of goes the same way. It feels like you need an extra player to kind of cover everything, and you have to make choices. You gotta make a lot of choices between how you. Sometimes you have to just give up at portions of the map, and there's not really many other maps like that. And on pretty much every other map, you can kind of have everybody on your team covering more or less everything.
Yeah, it is. I think that's part of what makes it so stimulating to watch and to play as well, is the fact that you're kind of thinly stretched, but in a way where it kind of encourages you in a positive way to have different setups. But I think it's cool because you can express yourself more on the CT side, how you change things from round to round. It's really interesting. I think they did a really good job with how this map has ended up. However, there's still no disabled access in the toilets. So that's despite there being there's a symbol for it, but there's no actual disabled access. I have tweeted the devs, but they've ignored me once again. I might be blocked by this point. I don't know.
Maybe. I have to say too that that's another. I think you touched on another thing that's really excellent about this map, in the way that. Oh, I had a really interesting point, James. Should I make it first, or should we go to a break?
It's up to you.
Right, I'm going to quickly make this point, then we're going to throw it to a break. So another really interesting thing that James touched upon there about Overpass is that it is also a map where I'm losing my train of thought. Maybe we should go to a break, James.
No, I was talking about disabled access, but I was saying about creativity and what you can do on the CT side and how you're stretched slightly thin.
Okay, so there's a difference here. So one of the frustrating things about Inferno is that on the CT side, you have to get information, and it can be extremely risky to do so. And on a map like Overpass, which doesn't have quite as punishing rotations, you get the option to play passively and give up information, and it's not quite as punishing as Inferno, but you also are encouraged to get information because you can't cover everything. So you kind of have to, and then in seeing nothing and making those plays, you can add pieces to the puzzle in terms of deducing what the opponents are doing, so that you get less punished but at the same time incentivized to go and do things. And when you give up something, what you're giving up is not too bad. So it still always feels competitive. Whereas Inferno, it can be very difficult sometimes. And you can see lots of teams just fall very flat in the information game, and then they just get completely crushed. And it's kind of like, or they just get completely wrecked by rotations, and it's just kind of But Overpass is always something you can do. So with that point made, we can go to a break, and we'll be back soon.
Well, the reason we're going to a break, maybe we should say, is because they're solving Elijah's issue. However, he's just joined a server, so I do wonder if we still need to go to breaks. Maybe production can confirm. But as you saw on the cameras, they were sorting that out. But Elijah just joined the server. Also, look on the camera at Team Liquid. Elijah's like an undercover keyboard geek. So there's a few of them out there. We have some private discussions. There's some undercover scuba people as well. But if you look at the camera, you can see he's got a custom keycap set on his keyboard, which is pretty cool. So production, do we still need to go to break? I see he's on the server. I don't know if we still need more time, because I think we're happy to talk a little.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, man, we got so much to say.
For days.
It's early. I had my caffeine, so I'm ready to pop, man. No break. All right, that's fine. That's fine with us.
I'm happy with that.
No problem. Yeah, that's no problem whatsoever.
Oh, nice. Even going to get. I mean, we can fill for days. So yeah. So those are some of the reasons I think. I don't think I necessarily articulated those those reasons in the best possible ways, but those are some of the reasons why I think Overpass is such a great map. So there you go. And I think also it shows, James, that you can make many different types of Counter-Strike maps, and even the maps that you make, which let's say aren't comparably as good as Overpass, they can still work at the top level because the meta game is a thing. Because things that are strong become established, and then when you have that expectation, you can kind of begin to play against it. And then once you have that, even a map that's not as good as Overpass can become exhilarating to watch when you've got the professionals on the server.
Right, the countdown has begun. We're 60 seconds away from the first round. Team Liquid will be starting on the T side now. For those of you in Go TV, I'm going to pick my boy Nitro because as good as people realize he is, I think he's still better. So I'm going to pick him purely for that reason. Feel free to contribute if you want to, Dan, but that's it for me. I'm just going to go with Nitro because I think he never get. There are some people who never get enough credit. I think Nitro on his current team is one of those people. I think Automatic on the major winning Cloud9 would be another candidate for such an accolade. So for me, all eyes on Nitro.
You're definitely, well, for a time, criminally underrated in terms of his in-game leadership. I think Nitro's had an interesting history because when he first came onto the scene as well, he was somebody who was looked to be one of these superstar level riflers, and then there was this kind of discussion: is he living up to that potential? And that's always an interesting discussion because, well, don't even have time to kind of fully flesh out that point because we are finally going into the match. So Team Liquid versus AVANGAR here on Overpass. And this will be a really interesting one. Team Liquid, of course, heavy favorites. Most people have Team Liquid, the vast majority, pegged to win this major. And AVANGAR should be ants in their journey to that trophy, James, and perhaps they will get crushed. We'll see.
Stewie and Nitro will have 2 flashes each and a smoke each. Twist has a decoy grenade. I do think there's more utility to be had in terms of decoys on the pistol. I think people at home will just go and throw them randomly, but I think if you're in a sticky spot and you can use it as a fake flashbang, then it might get you a cheap headshot. Very cheap headshot indeed. Speaking of which, the Glock will land a shot into James. Again, P250, he'd be dead, but that is so far so good. Maybe James can get some revenge though. If he's alive, he can still pop heads. You can see Kika trying to block the smoke, create some kind of gap if he can, while Liquid get closer to the sides.
Yeah, and there you go. You've got Elige there jumping around Optimus, trying to see what he can find. And Keycut will be the first to fall, and everybody's dropping like flies here for AVANGAR, and Team Liquid will get themselves the bomb planted. Buster in then 1 versus 5. Not as well. I think 3 points of damage taken on Stewie. He does not have any Kevlar, and Nitro also. It's actually interesting because if you look at Team Liquid, they've actually saved money here in this round. They've got obviously a couple kills to add some, but Nitro leaving 100 in the bank there. Why no decoys, James? Why we see no decoys?
We did see a decoy. I just had a conversation about the decoy.
No, but more decoys. They could have brought more decoys.
He's still holding the decoy. He still has it.
Oh, more decoys, James.
1-0 to Team Liquid. We've got the force buy from AVANGAR. CZs are being pulled out. James will be dropped to scout. So again, I think someone on Twitter spoke about RPK not buying Kevlar to have an AK for
I think it was
for Zywoo.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, but we can see. Okay, never mind. Ignore everything I said. He picked up some Kevlar. I was thinking he's leaving more money in the hole so he could get AWP. And maybe it works out that way and he's naked since he picked up Kevlar in this particular round. But that was a long conversation. There's just not enough time, really, is there? We've got Twist getting the opening frag towards the B bomb site, bouncing the HE off for that annoying position on the side of the water. I like picking that as a T, though. It's not the most difficult pre-fight. Problem is, it does expose you to the barrel position at the same time. You can see Nitro moving in. Will there be a flashbang, or will they take them by surprise? There are helmets on some of these players. You'll spot a few heads. Nitro takes one down, but maybe he was a bit too static there. Not sure if he knows the MAC-10 spray. Does anybody?
Well, Liquid wanted a fast pace into this, but they've been slowed down dramatically, and a 3 versus 3 is the result. So this one is pretty on now for AVANGAR, although, of course, Elige will make the first kill into the site, allowing his teammates to close the distance, but jumping across for the trades here. Or if only Kika had also been looking towards that ramp, maybe he would have got Twist, but it will be taken, will be under control, that said, for Team Liquid in the end, and AVANGAR will be on a save. And AVANGAR are usually pretty good with their economy, so I doubt they'll invest too much here, make sure that they have everything in the following round. 3 HEs, interesting. Maybe they're expecting a rush into Monster or Long. Perhaps that's what they'll be looking to throw those HEs towards. And Team Liquid will be gearing up completely. 4 HEs, there you go. And a PT-50. So yeah, we'll be towards B. Dren will be the spotter. He hasn't got an HE himself, but he will spot for his teammates. But I'm sad, James, because it looks like Liquid are going for the long option, perhaps, given where their positions are at the moment.
Smoked off the front of the toilets, looking for a response. I like how careful Liquid were on the B bomb site when they had 3 players remaining. That approach was really awesome to see. And again, we've got the... Oh, didn't have spot. He does. Spots and he swats. So he knows where one of the remaining 4 players are. That's a beautiful HE as well.
Yeah.
Really, really nice stuff. What a great response. A minute on the clock, and Liquid have been very, very slow. They're expecting some shenanigans, and they've got good area control at the moment. The bomb has been collected. I'm sure it will join the players by the toilets. So it's a 2-pronged assault from Liquid. They're pushing both sides at the same time. They're just still asking questions, trying to find out where it's safe to push. But as Naf makes his way towards through Monster, the rotation will come in, the safe one as well, going all the way around in case anybody's in a dodgy position. Nice to see Elige with a picnic knife. Got himself a layol, as the French will know what I'm talking about.
One thing to note in this round, by the way, is just how, even though Liquid know that AVANGAR will be on a full save, the fact that they have taken this with so much respect and so much care, in that they only committed towards B when they really had the information to realize that it was going to be safe to take. Nice shots from Adren. But they didn't just run in somewhere. They played information. And this is amazing from AVANGAR. Even though they've managed to take this approach and they get onto the bomb site and avoid pretty much all of the AVANGAR players, they still lose 2 players and lose 2 rifles, a Krieg and an AK. That's going to go to AVANGAR in the following round. And there's no way that Team Liquid are ever thinking about, in this position, trying to reclaim those weapons or get those kills onto Jame and Adren. So this is a huge win for AVANGAR. I actually am really impressed with both teams in Liquid's approach, but also AVANGAR and what they're able to get out of this. So moving into that next round, Liquid need to be cautious. And I'm always really interested to see how a team decides to play around like this. Do you just go really safe, expecting that maybe a team like an underdog team like AVANGAR is going to throw something crazy at you, try to take up a lot of real estate straight away? Or do you play really fast and hard into a certain position to try to catch them off guard?
3-0 for Team Liquid. James did keep enough money in the bag for the AWP, as I was waffling on about earlier on. The Kevlar didn't make a difference. As you can see, he's got the smoke and the HE grenade as well. So now it begins. Team Liquid will have Naf lurking outside the B area. We've got HEs, as per usual, towards that short B position. I like that. The Molotov towards the short B area from the CTs over the wall. Then as it stops, get the HE in there for any Ts waiting behind it. It has done plenty of damage in the past. You can see Jame outside the toilets now. with the AWP. Always good to see the rifle support for a sniper on or around the A bomb site, but he's caught in the open, misses his flick. That's a brutal start for AVANGAR, but Adren will hold some position trading on Stewie.
Yeah, really big win, of course, for Liquid to pick up that initial kill onto James. They opt to start with establishing their default on the T side here, as opposed to anything else. So, and they've decided, of course, with that pick onto James to start to continue pressuring towards the A side of the map. Buster actually is in a fairly forward position on short B, so he might be able to allow AVANGAR to risk a rotation of an additional player, which would be potentially a Dren from that B bomb side to help A at this point. You might have to start taking gambles. There's 30 seconds left. They've spotted nothing towards B. There's a preemptive smoke grenade coming in from the CTs. AVANGAR still looking to hold, and time pressure is on now for Liquid.
That's a nice headshot from Nav. Sees a CT behind the Molotov, but here's another one from the stairs where Keycut fell. Buster moving close to the site now. 13 seconds to plant the bomb. There's still angles to be had from Sanji. That's huge from Elish. I don't know if we saw any of that. The Kriegs wrecking on the A bomb site. 4-0 for Liquid. Comfortable. It looks like Elish has woken up. Saw some big yawns from him at the beginning of that round, but brutality from a very accurate Krieg.
Yeah.
That was painful.
It looks a little bit scary when just how quickly they die when faced with the lead. She's just so ready for all these. Oh my god!
Oh goddamn!
Okay, that seems fair. That seems fair. Okay, 4-0 for Liquid, and AVANGAR they'll be shipping it all across the line here, all in for them. AWP on James. Actually, that said, it's not. They've actually got some money
Once
in the
again,
bank.
Dan, you've lied to the audience.
I know, I'm having a slow start this morning, aren't I?
On a daily basis.
Having a slow
Dan
start
is
today.
lying on a grand scale.
I apologise.
You might as well open a church at this point.
Well,
So indeed, a lot of the players have left about $2,000 in the hole, but it's a calculated risk. They've put James on an AWP, and that can be very strong on Overpass, especially around those toilets, for example, but there are other places it can be played as well, but he will indeed be around those toilets. The structure gives you plenty of space with which to fall back. He's playing a little further back at present with Kika in the long toilet area. Minute 5 on the clock. Liquid start to take presence towards long. So they're in positions where they can keep the CTs honest in terms of aggression. Kick over Krieg has got the shadow advantage, but this time he gets nothing out of it. Surely one frag was for free when he can see the shadow, but he doesn't quite hit the mark. Elish always does, however.
yeah, that's the thing. Like you have to be able to hit those shots, at least get one kill there, and that's really a big problem. And performance-wise, we're going to be looking to see if that kind of stuff continues to happen for AVANGAR, because that is like the very basic level of performance you need to really have a presence in this matchup. So now he's going to go past the smoke. He's going to hit the running. He's going to hit the rotation. However, AVANGAR are out of position. So at this point, especially given that they've saved some money in the bank, they could very well opt to just save this and have a decent situation, a pretty damn decent situation in the following round. But indeed, that's a very different look to this round. It's a very different look to this round. Would it be the case that Kika was able to get at least one there? But the hunt begins. Stewie will find Sanji, take him down. That's okay for AVANGAR still. They should be able to survive with 3.
I love the way Liquid have been playing these rounds, especially the rounds where AVANGAR have not been fully equipped, because it shows that they're respecting the nature of the match in terms of it being a best of one. They're not taking anything for granted. They're not like running 10 meters with their knife out when they don't know for 100% if it's okay to do that. They're being very, very careful. And that's how best of ones at majors should be played. You don't want to just let it slip and find yourself in a really bad position where you've got to win 2 games and there's no more margin for error. Not the situation you want to be in, so maybe there's something to be learned. There's a bug on the HUD, it seems. There we go. Back to Team Liquid. All right. 5-0 at the moment, and now AVANGAR have got the full buy, and they're doing some crazy calculations because an AWP was dropped for James in the previous round, but they're pretty much fine in this buy. Kiket's lacking grenades, Sanji's got the FAMAS, but I think like that was some crazy calculation to figure out, okay, we can buy exactly all of this, and we leave money in the hole for these people, and then we get the buy like this. That's pretty solid stuff.
Now looking to go forwards here for the pick. He'll find it against Adren. Oof, no contest there. Didn't even take any damage. That's kind of an issue. You've got a push coming in from Buster. They need to do something. Nice one from James in connector, taking down Stewie. And at the same time, Buster knows now, with the information that James gets, that it has to be A at this point. I mean, they've got so much map control. They should be rotating everybody. And indeed, that's exactly what's going to happen. James even rotating from the Suez position. They feel as though Team Liquid are so committed. And Team Liquid don't realize that Buster pushed. So they don't realize that AVANGAR can have basically everybody on the site and a rotation coming in. If Buster times his flank well, AVANGAR should have enough to win this round.
James has full grenades. Okay, good. He's using them. He's got a Molotov behind the smoke. He dropped his smoke as well. Smart stuff, I was going to say. Anyway, the flashbang comes through. No multi-frag for Elish, however. The CT is looking okay for the time being. 30 seconds for Nitro to find out where these players are. You can see him jumping and jiggling, trying to find out where they might be, using the smoke to create some space. But that flank is surely going to be top trumps. Buster coming in from the back. Nitro pulls out the bomb. Never saw him coming. Some good information there for AVANGAR. They rotated in time. I've spoken about it on previous overpasses. Sometimes you're in AWP and you're stuck in that connector position, and it can be better to rotate through B. There was some hesitation there from James because none of his teammates were in a short B position, but he was able to rotate, and that allowed AVANGAR to activate. Again, he had enough utility to hold things down and make it hard for Team Liquid on the A bomb site, and now AVANGAR find themselves with their first round. They've got a full buy. Liquid will have no issue buying either. But the money is starting to run low for both teams.
Yeah, it is. AVANGAR need more good performances here. James will be forced down. He's committed for this. He hits it, of course. Great stuff, but he's taking some damage through the through the panel there. Got to be really cautious. He does escape, and there's nobody to punish him out of party, which actually is a lot of information, I think, for AVANGAR. For James to see nobody there, he's got to realize that there's so many more players towards this B side, and Naf is looking to do so much damage. Might just catch him with nades, and that has... Oh, no, surely not. Indeed, Naf won't be able to get the additional kill there, but that was a close one. And it's a 3 versus 3. Loads of time here for Liquid to still express some advantages as they look to push into the B. There is a flank again from Kika this time, but on the bomb side, it's not looking too strong here for AVANGAR.
Was that deliberate, the 2 smokes in the balcony? Because one was a hell of a lot deeper than the other one. Oh, Buster trying to jump onto the site, but it was a bit too high. Too much airtime, and Twist will punish him for it. No NBA jam for you. Man advantage for Liquid. Kikat's been spotted. That's half the information. James with the AWP. What can he really do now? 1 versus 3. Nothing he can do but walk away. I do wonder, while there was action towards the A bomb site, Kikat was deep on long behind the boulder. I don't know if you had the scope around the fountain. But if he had pushed a little faster on that occasion, then maybe something would have happened. But only we have the complete information. And AVANGAR go back to losing ways. 6-1 for Team Liquid. That's pretty comfortable for them at the moment. There is some money, though, for AVANGAR, so they can buy around this AWP if they choose to. James, I think, has been heard. We've got Elish pretty close, but it looks like he'll survive. Just about.
And right now, you know, Liquid are keeping things really simple against AVANGAR. They're not really doing anything too complicated. They are not really abusing pacing or anything like that to some extreme level or something that you may expect them to, you know, to see from them if they're playing, you know, an Astralis or something. We're just seeing just very basic T-side play, T-side fundamentals. So we'll see how that continues now. I think, you know, one of the issues against Liquid is that individually, every player hits so hard. And that is a good peak. So James had the right eye peak, and Nitro was on left eye peak, but because James was so much closer to the wall there, Nitro still gets an advantage on the AWP. Ooh, misses that shot though. Kika able to follow up nicely for a 4 versus 4. But there's a big flank onto Kika's position, so he's got to be very cautious. Not, is he actually covered there? Just about. He does take the peak, but Twist will still get the frag.
At least you got the mouse bug. Click and moves your mouse wheel, not physically, but theoretically. That doesn't happen as much as it used to, but there's definitely an issue with certain mice where your wheel's kind of between 2 clicks. You press mouse 1 and it presses mouse 3 or a mouse wheel direction. Often you'll see a jump and a shot at the same time. That would explain why. Anyway, Liquid still have a man advantage. I believe Stewie was lurking in the short B position, so AVANGAR don't have much info. Buster's the only person on the B bomb site holding an angle towards Monster, so He's gambling at present. Adren hoping for something. Maybe time will be on his side in a forward position with the UMP. Sanji could maybe run distraction, but you've got to be careful if you're jump peeking on the site because there are plenty of angles to be held by T's and plenty of scopes as well. 3 on the 4 players. Adren now doing some damage, just trying to buy time. 22 seconds. Liquid still needs to get onto the bomb site. Elige is in the red. There's a Molotov for the dice, which forces him forward. Elige now from that long position is going to get a very crucial frag, and it's Buster's turn to rotate away and try to save the AWP.
Yeah, and there's so it's very difficult to deal with a push like that by yourself in Sanji's position. It's really important though that they had, I think it was Elige was covering with the AWP from long, because that peak is from dice. When from the CT perspective, that right peak on dice is really powerful when the T's are moving forwards, because they actually have to move quite far forwards to gain position to get that bomb down. So you have this opportunity to catch them whilst they're running, but as you can see, that that is covered for by the long sniper position. And again, it's just very straightforward for Liquid. They just seem so powerful. It's what you would expect looking at this matchup. And the brute force of Team Liquid's is hard to deny, and it is looking very clean. It kind of reminds me, of a very graceful heavyweight boxer. Someone that can hit like extremely hard, but can move very fluidly, and that's, I think, that describes Liquid fairly well. They hit very hard, but it's the way that they move together as a team and how they move around the map leaves little to be abused.
Timeout has come and gone. Team Liquid 7-1. AVANGAR have got 2 AWPs on this occasion. The firepower perhaps replacing some grenades here and there. Sanji will be the MP9 man, often found with the worst weapon for AVANGAR, be it a MAC-10 on the T side, and MP9 on the CT side. He is the hero they need. But who's going to deliver the kills for AVANGAR? That is the question. Team Liquid with T-sided weapons is quite a problem for pretty much every team at the moment. And again, in terms of what Sanji's roles are, he's 1 for 7 at the moment, but there's a job he sometimes has to do, and sometimes it is take the worst weapon. James gets a forward pick on Elige. That's a good start for them. A 5 versus 4 that they need. 3 players on the B bomb site. This boost is pretty good because you don't need to... oh dear, they've messed it up. Basically, the player you're jumping on can just stand. So you don't have that extra jump where you're completely exposed. You just crouch, you stand, and you can see. There we go. Sanji has fallen to his doom. His job was to seek information, and he's died doing it for his team. 4 versus 4. 1 minute on the clock. Bomb hasn't been spotted just yet. Once again, look on the radar. You can see Kika is by that boulder on long, but with 50 seconds on the clock, he still hasn't gone forward. So maybe there's some proactiveness to be done. And with that kill, you can see him start to move forward now. But will he get on the flank fast enough?
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about as well, the fact that there is often going to be holes, even if there's 5 players alive at the CT side. Sometimes you can just walk up to A. And Sui's managed to do that, and they will have no idea about this. So Liquid, it's all about waiting for him. He hears the running, the rotation, takes down James. So now they know about the flank. What is the option here? Do they go back towards the other side of the map? No, it looks like Nitro's going to realize the flank's coming in as well, and it is looking really good for Liquid here. They've got 20 seconds, though, and they're committed to this B-bomb site. Buster, nice shot. Takes down Nitro. That's the bomb as well. Twist in the 1 versus 2. Looking quite difficult here because he's against the time, and Adren will force the issue. Lovely stuff there for AVANGAR. They'll claim their 2nd rounds. Very nice, very nice.
How triggering must that be for Kika? Regardless of the win or loss, that's got to be frustrating. You're sitting on the boulder on long until there are 50 seconds left. Your teammate gets a pick on B, and that's your go signal to start flanking. You flank all the way, walking all the way through T-spawn, only to have Nitro sitting there like this with the AWP to take you out. That stuff is crazy, man. That's why people call hacks in pug games. That's hilarious if you're not Kika. But anyway, AVANGAR double their score. They've got 2 on the board now. And again, if you look at Team Liquid's money, it's starting to get a little short. So there's opportunity for AVANGAR to claw some rounds back. But the same could be said for Team Liquid. There's opportunity for them to break the money of AVANGAR for a brief time. The way the economy is, AVANGAR still have quite a high loss bonus. And that's what some people talk about, in that you're almost punished for winning rounds in this respect. Your opponent can lose rounds and maim you, but not quite break you round after round. But they win that 1 round, and they can have a solid comeback. And if that happens late in the game, that can be a difference between winning and losing.
And I like that we saw the boost there on the slide, checking for any aggressive play towards Party, because seeing how Liquid clear everything in the map and how quickly they do everything is pretty good to note. Very drilled, of course, and they've taken quite some space towards the bathrooms and long now. So they've lost all presence towards B, and AVANGAR have all presence towards A. So AVANGAR have done a good job here in reading the situation after the initial kill from Buster, and they may be in for an engagement very shortly, pushing towards the bathrooms. Here goes Twist. Oh, God. It's going to be really close. James posted up on this angle. We've seen so much damage from good AWPers in this position before. Got to have good timings, though. Smoke is down on Divider. Twist will take down Adren straight away, and it's looking kind of awkward here for AVANGAR. They couldn't really get set up. Their timings weren't really there.
Well, it looks like, well, we'll talk about it later. Team Liquid are still pushing the site. There are 19 seconds to plant this bomb. Some of the players in the red. Sanji waiting for the MVP play. Is there a Molotov for the dice position? There is indeed. He's still going to take a frag, but he's got to be careful. Time is so low. 8 seconds now. Elige has got so much to do. He's in a sandwich. He's going to find both kills, though. Unbelievable stuff from Elige. But Team Liquid, that was solid from them. Around the toilets position, they seem to read what the play was from AVANGAR. They seem to understand the AWP setup that was being played in the toilets, and they managed to use utility to isolate the players, to force them away. Their pop flashes as well. You can see the Molotov there. They broke the setup and isolated Kika, where the CTs can't trade. They have to fall back without engaging Team Liquid. So that was really awesome. The presence of mind to understand that, and then a clutch from Elige at the end. That was a really strong round from Team Liquid from start to finish.
Hardly seems reasonable that Elige still clutches that one out of AVANGAR. Seem to they really deserved. It feels like they kind of deserved the win there. They played it really well overall, but hey, it's an individual game as well as a team game. And Liquids are looking indomitable as always. So a stack towards B for AVANGAR, and Team Liquid continue to work that default. They've got themselves Naf lurking towards Monster, as he is oft to do. And the rest of the team is working that A control. AVANGAR do have that short position, so they will rotate everyone towards A again. Well, Liquid commits. Liquid only have one Molotov, actually, so they don't have the most bits and bobs to throw at the bomb site in the world. And AVANGAR are looking a little bit aggressive now again. This reminds me of the previous round. Let's see, 40 seconds, and the bomb is going to be collected by Nitro. Perhaps he's going to be taking it towards B here. They're going to try to fake A, maybe, with presence. And now they start to rotate back, so AVANGAR are out of position.
Should be a formality for Team Liquid, but again, it's still nervous. Look where the bomb is. The bomb's basically in T-spawn. You've got the bomb guy throwing grenades from a mile away. You could have thrown it from short B as well, although they are very low on grenades, but Naf has one from that position. Anyway, Liquid will swarm the site. 13 seconds, and Sanji could do something. So late from Team Liquid. I'm not a fan. It just makes me nervous. If one person's in the wrong position, then who knows what could happen. Buster's done some damage here, but he looks unlikely to retrieve a weapon. Another round in the bag for Team Liquid. There's no defuse kit or anything, so I don't expect any chance of some kind of nonsense. No one's going to push Bus, so there's no need to. The bomb plant won't push anything in his direction. He's got little to lose, so I think he is going to have a look. You can see him there trying to do some more damage. Leave, just making sure the bomb's not being defused. But Twist will spray from Connector, and that is the end of the round. 9-2 for Team Liquid.
Liquid's fakes are really, really good. I mean, we saw there, for example, they really sold that towards A, and they did it with such minimal utility. It was just this one deep smoke, and because they've been playing so many rounds really slow, it also makes it much harder for AVANGAR to read, and it also means that if AVANGAR are to play for information, it's more risky, because it's, you know, it's, for example, if, let's say, Liquid are playing faster timings and they're ending up on bomb sites around 40 seconds, if you make, you know, an info play around like 50 seconds, you're probably more safe because they're committing more players towards that bomb site they're going to hit. But I don't have time to talk about that because in goes Jame once again. We go for that AVANGAR takeoff shot. It's going to work out pretty nicely this time. 2 frags for them. Naf down very, very low. Working Monster as always, but this time it's not gone so well for him. So this is looking like surely AVANGAR have all the advantages in the world now to convert. 5 versus 3. NAF is critically weak. What on earth are Liquid going to do? How do they win this one, James? How do they do it this time?
1 HP for each CT. NAF will be fine taking Jules. He has an AK-47 after all. Still a very dangerous round for AVANGAR. If Liquid can engage players in isolation, then maybe something can be done. But the footsteps will be heard by Kika. He gets closer, looking for the boost. Did he see Nitro? I don't think he did, but Nitro must have seen him. It gets a 2-man spray down anyway. And now Stewie's in a 1 versus 4, picking up the AWP. Sanji won't peek. There's plenty of support. You can see James rotating for the flanking position. Stewie still carrying the bomb. Time for FPL mode. How many grenades do you know? Jumping, trying to get that information. He's got 30 seconds. He's got some time to go for some engagements. But pushing through the smoke, Adren will finish off the job. 4-play survive for AVANGAR. They collect a second AWP. And that's their 3rd round on the board. And again, this is really important. Look at the money for Liquid. This could be a chance for AVANGAR to pull back in this half and maybe go for 6 rounds.
Yeah, it's a distinct possibility, but it could also be the case now that Liquid, to prevent this, might try to take off the gloves in some respect, in the sense that they may run a particularly hard-hitting strat, which is much faster than the previous ones, that turn up that pace, and that could catch AVANGAR off, because Liquid have been playing very slow pretty much the whole half so far, and now they have the pistols. It's a perfect round to go fast, and James will do what he usually does, goes for the pick towards Connector. Nitro takes him down with the Tech 9. More damage being done here. Oh, hello. Actually, a collateral there with the P250. Don't see that every day. Jay will have to defend against another one, though. And he misses the aerial shot. Elige will take him down. That's an AWP to be collected and a 3 versus 3. And a minute and a half to find a way to win this round for Liquid. That is they're in advantage now, I would say.
I respect how awkward Elige made that. It couldn't have been more awkward. AVANGAR are being proactive, though. You can see Sanji's making his way. Okay, he could have gone through toilets, but he's going all the way down long, which is a lack of information. But the shadow advantage is so good for Buster. Elige picking at the wrong angle, unfortunately for him. That's a beautiful shot from Buster. Where are these sniper shots coming from? Twist left alone now, 1 versus 3. We've seen him do more with less. Dangerous with a Caesar. Does he wide swing now from where his teammate... Oh, that's beautiful from him. Buster scoping as well may have given him some visualization. Whereas the second player, it's Adren, and he will finish off the job. Round number 4 in the bag for AVANGAR. No plant for Team Liquid and not much money.
Yeah, great performance there from Buster. Obviously, as you mentioned, that shadow advantage, it seems so significant. And sometimes you might want to try to, if you know all the spots, as the pros will about the shadows on the map, you might want to try to bait those shots out by kind of baiting your shadow and teasing the peak. And I think that's what Elige was trying to do, but he was unsuccessful ultimately. But great shots from Buster. I have to say, in the previous week, seeing him AWPing wasn't that great, actually. But he's really stepped up his game coming into the new Legends phase. So that's really good to see. And it's brought a lifeline here for AVANGAR, as they'll be up against a full eco. So looking to get 5 rounds at the least. Sanji will have quite a few legs to shoot at, as they all challenge him from the tunnel. And Buster will finish things off with the help of Adren. So AVANGAR will indeed pick that one up quite quickly. And we move into the final round of the first half. And AVANGAR could get 6. And if you look at how some of these rounds have gone, 6 rounds is actually a great scoreline for them to actually find. Liquid will have a full buy, though, more or less. I'm not sure if how much Elige will have. He will... Oh, no, Elige will be fine. Okay, cool. Everything's cool. All they're really lacking is an AWP and several extra grenades, but they may mitigate that fact with a fast B round, it seems.
Who the hell invented that grenade? Sliding off of 2 walls to line things up. Buster trying to hold position. Stewie was so close to the engagement, but Buster will win it. Adren taken out in the meantime. Problems by that monster tunnel. And here come the numbers. AVANGAR defending behind these smoke grenades. Oh, Nafly's gone through it for the 2-man spray down, and that might be double figures for Liquid. James picking Nitro off. The CTs by the short B position. Kika flashed by his teammate, which stops him from being able to do anything about the bomb plant. Smoke grenade to create space to divide the Ts. You can see Twist on the back of the bomb site now. Liquid defending almost from CT positions. Kika and James trying to push forward. There are some flashes for Kika. They won't be used. The M4 so far so good. Jiggling, Nafly's patient. No, beautiful shot from Kika. Where's the last man? It's Elige. And this has got to be awkward now. Both on AK-47s. Flashes That clock is ticking. James got a defuse kit. Elige fighting behind the sandbags, but through the wall. James got a clutched around for his team. Has he got time for the defuse, though?
It's so close. It's really close, but he gets it. Wow, AVANGAR, they come back with 6 rounds. That's impressive, and that does give them something to work with going into the next half. We'll have to see if they can challenge the Titans, the Giants, the favorites of this major, Team Liquid, after the break.
And we're back. Team Liquid at halftime have a 3-round lead. Looked like it was going to be a lot larger than that, but there was a late comeback from AVANGAR, 4 rounds in a row for them, which proved to be really important because otherwise we may not have had a competitive half. But now there is so much potential for AVANGAR. They can have some solid T sides, but can they do it against Team Liquid? Again, their results against Team Liquid aren't very good. Going back to 2018. In fairness, they're not very good for many teams right now. But there's always time to turn it around. It is a worm of AVANGAR players going towards the B bomb site. The worm splits. Some towards short B, some outside the monster position. A smoke is in hand for Sanji. Stewie will get taken out by Kika. Now forced to fall back. You play the numbers of his teammates if he can, using that USP advantage. But AVANGAR have most of the site now, and a bomb plant's possible.
Yeah, so that's the guaranteed money at the very least for AVANGAR. Liquid trying to get into position here. Starting to bully them with numbers. Elige will open things up. That will cue players to go forwards, but they'll be knocked down quickly by AVANGAR. Their defense looking quite strong. 3 versus 2. Their health is lacking now for Team Liquid as they try to fight this one. Nice shot from James. 1 more to go, and Nitro will take him down, but still, his health is so low. 1 bullet, and that's all that will do it for Nitro. And here he goes forwards, committing to this. There is an argument to maybe try to save this. Kevlar is so weak, and in fact, he will go for that. He knows AVANGAR will play this out correctly, and they won't peek until the defuse gets triggered. So he will save that, or do his best to do so, and AVANGAR are going to pick up the pistol. That is exactly what needed to happen for AVANGAR. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance for them. They're such heavy underdogs here. I don't think anyone has them pegged to win this game, but it is a best of 1, James. Maybe this is the start.
There was a wild jump through the smoke from Buster after the bomb went down, was planted, sorry. And I don't know if the purpose of it was to draw some crosshairs to his position while his teammates pushed forward around what was going on there, but that was pretty wild. Didn't quite work out for them, but they did win the pistol anyway. Force buy from Team Liquid. Nitro's left money in the hole for the AWP, as you can see. He's picked up a Kevlar on the P250. And there's that smoke again, this time from AVANGAR towards that balcony position. Deep flashes to take out that barrel area, but Stewie's going to find 2 of the 5-7 regardless. Elige has been taken out. Stewie will be finished off, but there is a flank now. Liquid abusing the numbers game around that short B position on the crossfire. 2 versus 2. This is absolute carnage. Madness everywhere. Twist down to 1 HP, but with a CZ, we've seen him almost get an 8 of it before. And AVANGAR move out of the site. And I do wonder about this because there are so many rifles and weapons down on that B bomb site. If they reset things and lose the positions of those Liquid players, then things might just get worse for them.
Yeah, this is really scary. Indeed, so many things that could go wrong for AVANGAR. And big rotation for that bomb. Splitting up is always a very, very difficult prospect. But James is trying to cover at least some of the potential for Liquid's maneuvering around that A position, around short, maybe trying to get a peek in towards sewers, but the bomb will make its way quickly through long, and of course, Adren running in long will not be heard by anyone unless there was somebody on the A bomb site. But he's going to plant. In fact, there is, of course, CT nearby. That will actually be Nitro. He's got the most health. He hasn't picked up anything, but he's got the Deagle. That's a great shot onto Adren. One more, and Adren is dead.
Liquid have not picked up any weapons. They didn't know what the status was, what the nature of the situation was on the B bomb site, so they're still with these pistols. Twist with 1 HP. They're trying to draw out the T's, and non-believers just Jet Jame saying hello. Twist will get nothing done. A hairy one for a Vanguard. You've got to respect, though, that one-man rotation. They made no bones about it. Quick one from Adren in terms of decision-making, but a very long journey towards the A bomb site. It works out. AVANGAR 8 to the 9 of Team Liquid. There's a 2K from Stewie 2K at the beginning of the round.
5-7, I want to note, James.
Yeah, he would, but look how close he was.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I'm just saying because you.
Yeah, but it's unreliable. Yeah, it's good. It's good from that position, but it's so unreliable from like medium range. It's just not what it used to be. Still makes me sad.
We'll keep our eye on it if we see it again. Right, so we've got AVANGAR on the double Mac 10. So they must convert this one. Then they must keep players alive. They lost a bunch in the previous round. They lost 3 players in the previous round. Got to convert here. Stewie's being a naughty boy. He's got that taser out towards the sewers position, looking to catch anybody coming through the tunnel. Don't know that he'll find any luck here. It's looking good in terms of AVANGAR evading some of the more dangerous positions. It can always be scary when you see T's going through connector on rounds like this, but they will evade that.
We have seen some disasters in connector for teams already in this major. This is a smoke which lands in the middle of the site, helps it, makes it easier to plant the bomb. But I'm not a fan of doing it against an eco because I feel like it gives the CTs places to hide, although you can see Sanji moving through the bomb site before the smoke actually pops, which is a nice way to do it in terms of timing. What a beautiful trace from Stewie with the USP. Still alive in that short position. He's the only man standing, though, and he will fall. They win by elimination, AVANGAR. The score is tied, but we know the sniper's coming for Nitro.
Yeah, and that was good in terms of, one of the things that we know that AVANGAR needed to do was to not really lose more than one player, and they managed to achieve that. So that's pretty good. That will help them to recover the devastation on that previous round. But as you say, James, the snipers are coming out. Sanji will keep hold of the Mac 10.
He's always got a Mac 10.
Jane will not pick up an AWP. The Mac 10 is, it is pretty useful. It has some great utility in certain spots, creating space for the riflers. And we might get an initial aggression here from Liquid going towards the fountain with the Liege. Oh my god, he gets caught just out with an... That's very odd that you see him trying to throw the HE from such an exposed position like that.
Actually, I would say that it's really odd that Buster... Was it Buster or Adren? Whoever it was.
Buster.
Made the play through the smoke.
Right.
Maybe there's time after the round to discuss what normally happens when that molly and smoke comes in, because it is a long passage of talking. So I'll leave that for a bit later. But AVANGAR, they've kept control around that party position. Excuse me. And again, that smoke is lined up to land on the bomb site. That is one that was common when Overpass was a new map. You don't see it very often these days, but let's see how it plays out. We've got grenades towards that monster position. Buster moving forward. He's got info as to where the positions are, but AVANGAR are stuck in the choke point. It might be a bot. They're just throwing grenades from behind the smoke. But the longer they do this for, the better positions the CTs will be in. And it is abandoned ship in that respect. Adren taken out completely blind, trying to go for a split of AVANGAR, but there's a smoke on short now, so they are really out of options.
Yeah, and Liquid kind of realized the possibility for them to rotate back, and after now taking the man advantage in that 4 versus 3, they're pretty happy to sit 2 on either bomb site. So Liquid are really covered against everything, and honestly, the A site is going to be more difficult because Nitro is there with an AWP, and they don't really have the utility to deny Nitro. And Nitro is, of course, quite consistent on the AWP, and here is the first frag, hits the shot with that Mac 10. Oh my god, the lack of helmet really doing Nitro in. And maybe there's a chance here for AVANGAR. The 1 versus 1 James. He's got to go for the plant though because of the time. He should be able to make this happen.
But Naf was going towards the B bomb site. Kiko was making plays on B. They split again 1-1. And when you see one of those 2 players with that much time on the clock, you've got to believe it's that bomb site. Nafly, he's going to see the shadow though. James has no idea. Down to 11 HP. Next bullet wins maybe. Kikut, though, he's made the rotation now, and the bomb is planted for him, but Nafly is going to cut him to absolute pieces. The human shredder. That was so sick from AVANGAR. Kikut making plays on the B bomb site to allow the bomb to get planted on the A bomb site. Nafly running down the stairs, a free plant, the rotation from Kikut, but Nafly is Nafly. Therefore, he will win the round. Going back to the beginning of the round, when the CTs throw a Molotov on the T ramp, it forces, in most cases, the T side to throw a smoke. But from a CT perspective, that means that you can post up around the fountain, you can go towards the party position, and it slows down the Ts because you could be behind any of those walls, and they've got to look out for all those situations. So you may see a T side slow down, hold angles towards long, have somebody on that ramp position throw a flash towards party to peek it from playground, things like that. So I think Alicia's expecting all these things to happen, and instead Buster just goes through the smoke and stops him. You can see him a little more careful now, but things are as they should be this time, and he will fall back. And you can see how it slows the Vanguard down, and maybe Buster, see him on the radar. He should be throwing a flash for Adren to peek. So you can see it's about to happen on the radar at least. That's how it should play out in most cases.
Yeah. It's definitely a net positive in terms of wasting a bunch of extra T utility so they can make it safe on the exit to run their default. Because you want to run a default most of the time on Overpass. It's just really important. We won't go into all the reasons why, but you can see that Vanguard will settle into their default, much as Liquid did on their T side very often. But for Liquid, they have a two-man setup towards the bathrooms. They also have Naf on the bomb sites, and so a pretty deep smoke there on the towards the A side on the long position.
Divider. And
so that's actually created a spot where Liquid are a little bit concerned towards A. But AVANGAR will be moving towards B now, but Liquid have that sewers control, so that's a really big win in a situation like this. And AVANGAR will be committed to this site soon, and Liquid will know that.
Timing on that Monster smoke was pretty good. You can see Sanji's got the pop flash from Monster lined up. And they're going to go through it anyway. No one's there to deal with the position. You can see Stewie rotating off the short B area. Twist in short B as well. Maybe there's a bait setup to be had here. Does Stewie engage first? He does. Twist just waiting. Can he clean up? No, just the one kill for him. 3 versus 2. Liquid on the balcony position. Somehow getting a kill through that smoke on the bomb planter with 10 seconds. It's allowing Liquid to get closer. Nafly is all over this now. James coming off the bomb plant, and that might just be the round. Adren is not even in the bomb site while his teammate's trying to plant. Not sure what's going on there. That's a disaster for AVANGAR, but a great, important frag through the smoke on the original bomb planter.
Yeah, so that's the situation whereby you could argue it's a little bit greedy in terms of the plant, because what a lot of teams will do is they'll create a more open plant where you throw the smoke in the middle between the two blocks of wood, and then you kind of just you plant inside that smoke. But the problem with that is that if you're playing against a team that knows its lineups, you can be shot from everywhere. You're just sitting in that smoke, and the position's pretty consistent as to where that is, and that's exactly what happened. But if AVANGAR would have planted behind the wood, there would have been the cover, and that was guaranteed cover. They knew where all the CTs were, so that was a huge mistake in terms of getting the bomb down. However, Buster will take down Stewie's aggression towards sewers, so Liquid will be denied that position here early in this round, and Buster might be looking for more, as is Naf. There might be a meeting of the minds here as Naf goes close with the AWP. It's the perfect gun for the job, and that will even things up.
Shades of automatic. Twist with a tight angle. Another potential two-man setup. Nafly, though, is going to focus on a short B position. He's going to get popped. Kikut still looking towards the barrels. That's a disgusting burst from him, and he just keeps going. Another frag for Kikut, leaving Nitro alone. Such brutality. It's too early for this. Nitro doing what he can to thin out the numbers at the very least. They no longer need to engage him. They can just play the bomb. They need money as well as AVANGAR. But the entries from Kikut are absolutely sublime. So important for AVANGAR from game to game. That was just nasty.
Yeah, so this round, the fact that Kikut just kind of shut it down, I think that kind of now just sent the signal to Liquid that this just got very real. Now, let's not forget, Liquid are 1-1 as are AVANGAR. Liquid's lost to NRG yesterday on Dust 2, and they're fighting for their 2-1 position. Now, AVANGAR, they just created a situation where, okay, can they get the kill? Yes, there you go. That's really important. So they get rid of the AWP. So AVANGAR just created a situation where they decimated Liquid's economy, and now they should be able to start taking control of the game. And because we're so late into this one, there is a real chance that Liquid, they won't have many opportunities to make mistakes, or they could just lose this best of one.
Look at these headshots, man. Rated 18, put it on a porn site. Absolutely disgusting. Marvelous stuff. Now, do you start to get nervous if you're a Liquid fan? They've, as you said, Dan, they're a heavy favorite for this entire tournament, but right now they are broke as pocus. They have a one-round lead. They've got about $2,000 per person. Line them up. That will be enough. Adren will clean up the rest of it. Nafly won't last long either. Get it out of the way. Nothing much to offer. Back on the buy. 11-11.
I do like how Liquid are taking their ecos in that sense. They have been consistently just holding a position or pushing a position with 5 players, get it done really fast. But yeah, it's definitely a scary position for Team Liquid. As I said, that with the way that the economy works in this game, obviously it's a little bit more forgiving than it used to be. But there's still a position now for AVANGAR where they've got control of this match. So if Kika has suddenly decided that he's going to start performing like that, then there is absolutely huge problems for Liquid. Buster as well has been pretty on point. So, and that's all. You usually just need 2 players, 2 of your good players to really start performing really well on the T side to start taking over a match. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. We get a tactical from Team Liquid. This is the first one they've taken, as you can see there on the screen. And they'll be on 5 rifles, 5 M4s in this round. They don't have the best utility in the world. It's enough, and they have 0 kits. There's no defuse kit. So they are. This is a sketchy one for Team Liquid.
That's not the kind of tactical timeout you want to see. That's the we are having problems tactical timeout, and it is a best of 1. Team Liquid have won 2 rounds in this half. They've won 2 rounds from 7. What has happened to the success? Boost in that short B position. Buster showing too much leg. This is a very conservative area. Got to put it away. Dren makes his way up the stairs, but the CTs have gone. They're out of there. Liquid starting with 3 players towards the B bomb site. They've got some flashes and some smokes. Area control with Divider. You don't know what's behind that. Look at the reaction from Liquid. The 2 players who went into connector to get a kill are now at the long toilets position. Look at the length of that re-smoke. What does that tell Adren, though? He sees the trajectory of that grenade. What can he read from this?
He's just making plays again. We saw him on the boost doing some nice work. He's looking for a flank by continuing to push long. And Nitro's going to spot James. That's a really important kill. It's going to slow things down even more. But AVANGAR, they can't be slowed down too much more because they're 3 versus 5. Oh, Kiko, will he react to this? No, Elise shuts him down. And now it just gets worse. Elise is such a problem in this round for AVANGAR. Sanji opens up towards the A bomb site, but there's so many problems. And where are these players positioned for Liquid? They could be absolutely anywhere. Sanji has to do it all by himself on this site, and he's going to get stabbed in the back. And it's just all falling apart here for AVANGAR. Liquid looking to get some upgrades, but Adren looking to deny them. Another 1v1, and he's going to win it. 20 seconds to go.
Didn't take too much damage with the headshot through the wall. Bomb must be collected. Twist is in that connector position, so Adren, he doesn't know it, but he's got a 1 versus 1 on the A bomb site, and he's got to start quickly. The Molotov, he hasn't got time for this. Nitro pops out, easy frag for him. That was such a strong round from Team Liquid. The 2 players in connector getting a kill, rotating all the way towards long. 1 going deep, 1 going in that long toilets position, getting a kill there. Kika not expecting someone to be this deep, just running all the way. So it's basically a free kill for Elige because he's got the sound cues for days. And it just, the frags are coming from all over the place from Team Liquid. A late effort from Adren. There's a lot of damage done, but it hasn't really affected the buy too much for Team Liquid. You can see Nafly's on a mag 7. That's the big asterisk. Everything else seems okay. They went with 3 players towards B in a previous round. Didn't quite, there was no push from AVANGAR. This time they're looking to burst. 2 players deep in Monster. And Twist is going to get taken out on the B bomb site. Sanji with the mag 10 again. He cannot be stopped with the mag 10.
Yeah, and Liquid didn't upgrade the helmet situation, so he was a prime target for that. And not only that, AVANGAR might have picked the perfect round. James looking to try to cut down Elige. He knows he heard running. He knows he's here soon, somewhere close, but Elige will win that battle, so that's going to be an upgrade for Elige at the very least. But yeah, AVANGAR, they Liquid opened up with a 3-2, an aggression towards A side of the map. AVANGAR hit a super fast timing towards B. And if you can't win that entry battle against the first T player running into that B-bomb site, it's just over. And that's exactly what happened. The MAC-10 just dominated. So you're talking about Sanji on the MAC-10s, James. He seems quite proficient, and it has worked out really well.
It has a purpose when you're going for a rush, that moving accuracy. If you're the point man, you could just strafe all day and just spray at people's heads. It's like a drive-by. That's what a gun's kind of infamous for. Bullets going all over the shop. Team Liquid are in trouble. It's so bizarre playing a Vanguard. If you look at their results and the fashion in which the games have been won and lost, you just don't know what's going to happen from one game to the next. But they have a lot of potential on deck at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they are a really good team. Like, we've casted them on an online Counter-Strike a lot, James, and we've seen them give really elite teams a lot of problems on a consistent basis online. And as the more experience this team gets, you know, the better they are getting. So you never know what to expect from them. Sanji staying on the MAC-10, of course. I mean, why not? I mean, of course, they know it's going to be a save round for Liquid. Go for a more classic anti-eco, running up the long position. You can keep all your backs against the wall. It's long ranges, generally speaking. There's not too many corners to worry about. You can easily trade for each other. You can unlock the bomb site with utility once you get there.
Oh, boy.
It's a great defense. And, yeah, I mean, they've all been spotted. But, again, the utility is going to be very key in preventing Liquid from doing anything with these pistols.
Rifle disposal service. Elige was the man, but he just ran to his team. He wasn't able to do anything with that. And that rifle is not going to be retrieved. Just about Liquid playing behind this smoke. This is pretty much the entire plan for them. Twist going to take Sanji out. The Molotov is not quite doing the job. We can see, okay, finally Stewie's been taken out. You can see Nitro by Optimus. And AVANGAR are falling back. They've left Buster in situ. But where are they going with the remainder of these players? Keycut's coming out of connector, so they could start to clear toilets and so on. They've got the utility to really deal with this. The patience pays off. Nitro taken out. That leaves Nav. Pretty solid for a Vanguard. They only lose one player there. They take out the AK immediately for Elige. That was some unfortunate timing for him, but again, Team Liquid are in trouble.
All right, James. Yesterday, AVANGAR, they played against Renegades, underdog team in that matchup. They play against Renegades on Vertigo. Renegades a good Vertigo team. We saw great stuff from them. Who was it that took them over the line? It was Buster. What is Buster doing right now? He's 25 for 16. So once again, Buster's having a great performance for AVANGAR. And it seems to be this X factor that's allowing them to do really well so far. But it's not over just yet. 4 rifles again for Liquid. They went around like this previously. But here comes a rush from AVANGAR.
Yeah, but there are 4 Liquid players this time on the B bomb site. I think they're having a read as to what's going on. But they've no time to set up their grenades. But can they survive with their guns? The trades are going back and forth. And they'll finally all be wiped out. Overwhelming numbers for AVANGAR. Normally when there's a push or something like that, you're going to have the smokes on the site to cut the site in half and make AVANGAR have to force their way over the smokes. But there are no smokes set up whatsoever for Team Liquid. AVANGAR, they're just, it's so sick. Liquid are not allowed to play their game anymore. AVANGAR are just busting into the B bomb site on these rounds where Liquid are finally back on the buy, but Elige has made it doable. AVANGAR going really slow. They know where Elige was. That will give them the confidence to plant the bomb, but it's a 1 versus 2.
Yeah, he's gotta go for it, right? I mean,
I don't think he realized where the rest of them were, but AVANGAR do like to slow things down. But he's going back towards the B bomb site now. AVANGAR have abandoned the bomb site, so there's a chance for Elige. He doesn't have a kit, so he's got to go quickly. He has no idea where they could be, and they're both playing the same position. Even if he takes one out. Oh my God, what kind of play is this going to be? Elige, he sees the corner of James with a crouch peek. He saw his body.
Oh my God, I almost expected it to happen again. Elige won a similar clutch on the first half, denying AVANGAR more rounds with that creep, but this time with the M4, he can't get it done on the retake. Good effort, though. He really made that look doable in the 1 versus 3. But that's 14 to 12 now, Team Liquid. Oh dear. They could be dropping a map here and going down 1 to 2. That could be their score at the end of this one. AVANGAR really looking dangerous. One of the things is that AVANGAR have been picking the right rounds. The timings for them to rush B has, each time that they've picked to do it, the 3 times we've seen it in recent rounds, it has been the best timing. And it's not just that. As you say, in this round, obviously, Liquid had more players towards B, so they're a little bit more prepared. But they didn't have the AWP. They didn't have all the nades in the world. It was just an M4 setup for Team Liquid. And not only that, you know, AVANGAR are brimming with confidence. They're 14 to 12. Now this is where experience comes in. You know that you've got Liquid on the ropes. They're on an eco. You're about to get to match point. The only thing that can really stop you at this point is maybe yourself. So hopefully for AVANGAR's sake, they stay focused here and stay in the rounds mentally so they don't hamstring themselves in any sense. Liquid looking to make plays with the pistols. We can't count them out in a round like this. Naf looking for a push. Now this is scary. Naf with a deagle. Oh, the crosshair placement's perfect, and Buster goes down. That's an AK for Naf. He'll have that.
Well, Liquid, maybe there's something for them to do. Stewie's picked up an AK and he'll quietly move away. AVANGAR have a lot of utility left, but they don't have any position at all. They basically have T spawn. Naf lies in a very forward spot with an AK-47. Quietly slithering away. And this such is the nature of Overpass. He's got the sound cues now as well. Ooh. Oh, he should have got one of those, but he's got a lot of information and he's done some damage. There's so much area for AVANGAR to clear with 40 seconds on the clock. It's like the beginning of a round on Overpass, but they're missing 2 players.
AVANGAR, they've got to rescue this round somehow. The time is such a pressing issue. The rotations from Liquid might work out for AVANGAR. They're going back towards the B-bomb side here. There's only one player in position. It's Nitro. He has a CZ, though. And again, these players are so dangerous with anything. Sanji is alone in the 1v1. I feel like being alone is so scary. There's so many spots to check. Nitro gets the drop, and Sanji has absolutely no idea where he came from. And they're too far away. The spacing, they're too far away from each other. They can't trade these kills. 7 seconds to go, and that's it. Liquid have won this round. And that is terrible for AVANGAR, James. They split up so much. I was talking about maybe getting in their own heads, and I don't know if that's what caused them to just be so slow in this round, but they might have given away their best chance at winning this one.
That was a really big opportunity for AVANGAR, a really big opportunity, and you can see he knows it. That's the kind of round you want to have at the beginning of the game, not in the clutch rounds, not when it's 14-12 against the rank 1 team in the world, but such is life. Got to move on now. It's history. No need to focus on it for the time being. Kika lurks towards the B-bomb site. Once again, we've got the Molly and smoke exchange, and there's no map control. Do things start to get nervous now for AVANGAR? They've got no one towards playground. They can't clear the party area, the fountain area. We've got Liege moving through long. We've got a headshot through the door. That's some information. Not vital information, but it's always nice to shoot someone in the head.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely is. So at least, AVANGAR has some map control here. They've got the Suez position, they've got Kika lurking outside of Monster, but the utility situation suggests that they are going to be committed towards B here. They don't have the utility to go towards A at this point. They haven't cleared anything towards the A side of the map. Oh my god, Stewie, he was not expecting James to be in that position. Stewie goes for the info play with the AWP from short, and now Twist is alone on the ramp position. Well, I say alone, he does have Naf towards the water as well. But what is the play here from AVANGAR? Liquid, do they dare go for some information? Well, they've done it. They've got Alish pushing Fountain now, so they can rotate a 3rd player onto that B-bomb site. Liquid are as prepared as they possibly can be for this B push.
37 seconds left. Naf lies with some blind spray. Not enough kills for Twist. 2 versus 3. Problems will arise again. Elise on the late flank. Nitro trying to buy time. Another 1 versus 3. And AVANGAR might just slow things down as they often do. Bombs being planted. Sanji asking questions. Both these teams have to deliver this. That's a massive headshot for Sanji. And it's match point for AVANGAR. There's money for Liquid, but there's no more room for error. They need 2 from 2.
Oh man, I'm really happy for AVANGAR that they managed to pick that one up. I felt like maybe after losing that eco, that would just kind of anti-eco, that would kind of break them, knowing that they should have won that round, that they were on the track to winning this match. Now 15-13 again. For Liquid, they will have a situation where they do have an AWP out. They've got enough to have a decent amount of firepower in this round, but they're definitely against the ropes here. They're calling the tactical pause. They're calling to some kind of just a break, keep AVANGAR at bay for a moment longer, maybe ice them up a little bit. AVANGAR, this is so beautiful from Sanji. They had great timings. Kika and Sanji in this round were so critical. Great trading, great spacing, good timing. But this is it, James. AVANGAR, are they going to Upset Liquid here in this best of one. Overpass, a map that's really consistent for a top-level team.
My God. What a weird situation. There is a world where Liquid don't make it out of this part of the tournament.
Oops.
Okay, that's
no.
Oh my God, look at the damage from a missed smoke grenade. Surely this is not going to lead to disaster for AVANGAR. Or maybe, well, there's another molly and they just can't afford it. Buster's seen no one and he's got 9 HP, almost all self-inflicted. Adren's been taken out by a grenade. Team Liquid still alive. Stewie goes past the smoke and he sees that no one's there. It's the deep smoke. Some extra information. Buster behind the sandbags with 9 HP. Nitro's got a HE grenade, but he's on the A bomb site. My God, that's got to be nerves for AVANGAR. Surely not like this.
They might have to save, James. Their money is screwed. If you look at it, the situation, they're going into the 30th round, they should probably actually save because they can't afford an AWP again. If they lose the AWP, they can't afford the AKs again on Buster at the very least. And if Sanji was to rebuy an AK armor, he wouldn't have nades. They actually have to save now. All because they ran through a Molotov in the first 10 seconds of the round. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? They have to just abandon this round. Oh my God. That is quite something, isn't it? I don't think I've quite seen this situation before.
That is crazy.
Abandoning a round after the first 15 seconds. It's unreal.
This is, oh God, it's so tense.
Yeah, Liquid must be wondering what the hell's going on. Liquid don't have any money, and their buy kind of sucks, so they actually have to, they can't even attack. They can't even think, all right, AVANGAR are going to save this one. They've messed it up. We should go in for the kill. Leech can kind of afford to. You can see him starting to move forward, but no one else really can.
Yeah, I mean, they've got rifles, so there's not so much for them to get out of this. Twist is a little curious.
This is such a weird round.
That is quite something. So Kikurt's got 3150. Sanji could drop a Galil. This is really, really weird. Again, if you go back to that round where Liquid had like 1 or 2 rifles and AVANGAR lost a round, this is just mental anguish. But we won't have long to wait to find out what's going to happen. Sanji, okay, Kikurt's got the MAC-10 this time. Give it to Sanji, man. He knows what he's doing with that thing. He's going to have the Galil. So it's a rough start for AVANGAR. They're not going to rush the B bomb site, but Liquid are prepared. They've got 4 players waiting. But AVANGAR are starting slow once again. You can see Adren moving through playground. This time there's no Molotov. Or if there was, they waited for it to go. I don't think there was. But AVANGAR, it's going to be a slow one from them. They've got a reasonable level of utility for now. I think Adren will be flashed in to peak the party position. You can see the flash. Oh, the flash hit the fountain. Doesn't matter, though, because nobody's there. Team Liquid playing deep. They can't take too many risks. Still 3 players on the B bomb site. Nitro with the AWP outside the toilets, and Elise is just spotting towards long.
This kind of works out, this pacing of Liquid for AVANGAR, because Liquid are playing really passively. So even though, Liquid making an info play right now towards short. So they're going to see there's nothing towards sewers. So that's going to tell them that, okay, maybe we can rotate an extra guy towards A. We can definitely keep our 3 players on A for the time being. Right now, this really feels like A. That's what the information just told Team Liquid. So we'll see what happens here for AVANGAR, because they're going to have to go for the set piece. But look, Adren's already been cut down by NAF. That's a really big problem. Less than 40 seconds left to go. AVANGAR don't have an option to rotate back to B. They are committed.
Yeah, I feel like this is where AVANGAR fall to pieces. They haven't really offered anything in this round whatsoever. I think the adrenaline dump is happening right now. 2 versus 5, 24 seconds. Just trying to walk into the bomb site from long with no kind of coordination or anything offered. AVANGAR, oh, it's all falling to pieces, isn't it? We're going to be going to overtime. James can't see anything. He's the last man to fall. You have to call that a choke from AVANGAR. Going back to that round where Liquid had 1 or 2 rifles, to missing a smoke and a Molotov, running through flames, having 5 HP before seeing a CT, to I don't know what they were trying to offer in that particular round.
And when you say 1 or 2 rifles, it was just NAF who stole. I mean, they had just pistols to begin with, and NAF was the one that just picked one off, just walking out of towards the fountain, and then the other guy gets picked off by Stewie with the CZ, just walking out of Monster. So I think you're completely right there. Like in your assessment, it's AVANGAR kind of defeating themselves, which is what I was worried about. This round as well, that looked so scared. They looked so scared in that round. Scared to win.
Yeah, honestly, that just looks like an adrenaline dump for me. Just lost complete control. Well, here we are. Liquid are all in the first round. 2 AWPs. If they go 0-2, the last round should be free for AVANGAR, but we can take nothing for granted. As the last few rounds will tell you, Liquid hanging on for dear life. I really feel like AVANGAR lost the game, at least in normal time, in the last 3 or 4 rounds, but now there's another opportunity. Again, there is a Molotov for Adren's position, whether he's standing on the rail up here or down below. Throw a flash from the barrels, get a Molotov in there. I think it's a free kill. Nobody does it. 1 minute on the clock. Again, Liquid are playing deep. They're not making these, maybe this is an adjustment, not really making these forward plays anymore. Nitro's in the toilets, but apart from that, actually have a look towards the short B position. Ooh, Adren sees a leg, but Twist is Twist. Now we've got Keycut moving towards the B bomb site. The bomb's been collected and rotated, but they've lost short B.
Yeah, this is such a nice spot for Liquid to be able to reset into overtime and be able to not have to worry about money and so on and so forth. They're going to feel so fired up, I think, to just crush this. Now we'll see if Stewie can get some more. Absolutely get some more. There's one, and there's more challenges to come. They can't quite have the trade spacing. Oh, nice bait coming in there onto Stewie. Stewie whiffs the shot towards short, but he's still not punished. Twist will go down. Stewie under lots of pressure now. Stewie has to deliver some frags. His teammates are getting it all done as he just acts as a distraction there.
That works, as long as it works.
Yeah, that works indeed.
That's a big distraction. You can see Adren laughing. But he did his job in the sense that everyone's terrified of his next peak, and they've got to focus on him while his teammates do all the work. So that, as long as it works, if it works, it works. A win is a win. It doesn't matter. It was amusing to watch, but the result is the same. The 2 AWPs continue for Liquid, importantly. That was a must-win round, and they won it.
Yeah, and you know, you're completely right. The 2 AWPs are really important for Liquid. We didn't really get to see them run 2 AWPs at all in the regulation, just because their money was constantly so ruined. AVANGAR found good timings to run big rounds, doing big damage. Now, AVANGAR going for a default again here. We see 3 players towards the playgrounds, and they're going for that boost, or at least it's just a jump spot from Adren. We saw Liquid going for a fast boost to check for party aggression from the CTs. Quick flash to the fountain. And this just goes to the point again that you made before, like when there's been any threat towards the fountain, extra flashes are required to clear those areas, which are less flashes to clear other areas later into the round.
Again, Liquid, they're getting more interested towards that short B position. You can see a second CT there now. Twist has gone beyond the angle, so they've got a 2-man setup in that respect. So Liquid have fallen back from the aggression towards A. Outside of this toilets position, they're generally playing deep, and they're taking more aggressive positions towards that short B position. Again, it's so good for information and to allow you to have more people towards A. That can be enough information, and it's proven to be so for Liquid so far.
So here comes the movement now from AVANGAR, starting to initiate the push to take more ground, but Lee's just going to slow him down. Takes down Mr. Sanji, and the nades are gone. They're all gone from AVANGAR. They're absolutely gone, and they're not into the bomb site. That's a bad sign. That's a red flag in terms of your T rounds. What are they going to do?
Look at James jump peeking. He's got the AWP, and he's just dancing around in the tunnel. He needs to be trying to get entries, but again, with no utility, what can you really do? You don't have the luxury of the angles, and it's all falling to pieces. It's quite sad to see the rounds turn into this for AVANGAR. After such a good game in normal time, they've got no grenades. You can see the frustration there from James. Oh, he's going to die after time now, isn't he? Or maybe he won't, but how much will it matter? It's just descended into madness. Their best chances to win this game came in normal time. Now they're facing the A bomb site with no grenades. When your sniper is jumping and jiggle peeking, what even is the value in that? Even if he does draw some attention, they can't really play off of that.
Yeah, definitely agree. And the other thing too, when you get into this kind of a position, I would imagine that Liquid should expect certain kinds of rounds from AVANGAR because they've already seen enough of their overpass, and there are patterns as to how the calling might work. Like, for example, a B push would be pretty, like, one of the top things you'd worry about from AVANGAR in a round like this, where their money's a little bit low. Sanji on a Mac 10 again. The guy is an absolute monster with that gun. Takes down Stewie. And a 5 versus 4. I mean, that's not a bad spot to be in with a minute and a half left. And AVANGAR, they may just decide to rotate back to B and hit it hard. The bomb is going towards B. That, honestly, it's not a bad play for them. It's where they found most of their success.
I can't believe AVANGAR have not won this game. It's wild. And honestly, sometimes you see it, sometimes the desk have said they kind of run out of ideas, but it seems even worse than that. Just run out of hope, but maybe there is some if they can win this round. 4 players, 3 of them moving through the monster position. Buster's been taken out there. He was trying to get to short B. Kika with a lot to do. Holds down the bomb plant for his teammate. Running out of bullets towards the end there, but still delivered the kill. They can't go 0-3 in this half. Nitro delivering a grenade to allow Elige to peek, but James got the timing. And that leaves Nitro alone. They know where the flash came from, roughly. James by the pillar. You can see him looking for a deep peek. Nitro's got a kit, but a 1v3 is surely unlikely. Kiket with the flank gives AVANGAR a chance moving into the second half. Can they collect themselves once again?
It's going to be a difficult one, especially with like playing against Liquid on the on Liquid's T side. You know, Liquid's T side is going to be definitely quite dangerous. Liquid were experiencing a lot of success on their T side. Obviously, they got the 9-6. It actually could have been it could have been closer than 9-6 actually. There was one particular clutch that Elige got, which was a highly impactful, where I think it was like a 1v2 or 1v3 with the Krieg. And so I guess we can't count AVANGAR out in any sense, but there's definitely more question marks surrounding AVANGAR than there is for Liquid. And we'll see 3 Kriegs and an AWP collective for Liquid and an AK on Twists. Let's see what they can do with it. Jane will be looking towards, well, going for the fountain peak with the AWP very quickly and just getting early information. And he sees nothing.
4 players in B, a minute 30 for AVANGAR. Surely there is a short B push. Buster moving into position with AWP, you can see on the radar. That automatic spot, if you will. And Jane will have the second sniper around Divider. No vision of long. Kikert seems to might jump peek from behind the APC or something. He's rotating in that direction. Indeed, Sanji is as well as we reach the 1 minute mark. Naf has been very passive, just keeping an eye on the monster tunnel for now. Nothing crazy from him. And Liquid will use their utility. Let's not forget that brilliant play in normal time from Team Liquid, where they cleared out the inside of toilets when there was a rifle support set up for the AWP. Jane was in this exact spot, but he was Molotov the way. Kikert was isolated. I think it was Kikert. It was really, really strong. Flash over the smoke, but there's no response. There's no spray from Liquid, so if AVANGAR were looking for cheap information, they didn't get it.
Liquid looking like they may want to just go for a no-nonsense A play here. Just starting to push him with the grenades. Jame will take down Stewie. Good trade onto Jame in a committed position and didn't really have the support he needed to survive there. No flashbangs from teammates as the push continues. Elige, we know how deadly he is on these pushes. Sanji looking to line things up here. The bomb will go down. Twist. Oh, just his hips showing. Oh, Sanji so close to denying that plant. That would have been everything. But there's still a good opportunity here because there's a smoke and an incendiary on Buster. That could make the difference.
I think Adren may have spotted Elige in that long area, falling back a little. Now he's going to be out of play unless he chooses to rotate. The smoke's gone up. There are flashes for the CTs, no grenades left for the Ts. Nitro just waiting patiently. No grenades left for anybody, but there's kits galore for AVANGAR if they can get on the bomb. It's a team kill. Nitro goes into Naf's crosshairs. The trades continue. And I guess the defuse was going on at the meantime.
Yeah, it was happening. As soon as that smoke pops, the defuse was coming in, and AVANGAR hold it. And you can see Nitro knew exactly where the bomb, well, he knew where the bomb was mostly. He did get one shot into the bomb, knowing that the defuse was happening, but just couldn't push deep enough because there was so many CTs there. And AVANGAR played the angles there really well. They played the angles there very, very well in terms of not giving Nitro anything with that AWP. If Nitro gets the first, if there's a peak that's too deep on the player that was on Dice, holding back the players on the bathrooms and the long position, that's too deep, Nitro takes him out, then all of a sudden the round could collapse very quickly for AVANGAR. But they hold their positions well, know their angles. We get the fourth pause, the last pause, tactical pause here coming in from Team Liquid as AVANGAR equal their score. It's not over just yet, James. They could still do it. Do you believe? I believe. But not as much as before, maybe.
I honestly, I feel like there was a huge adrenaline dump at the end of normal time, and I don't know if they can recover from that because they just I think it has to be on their CT side of AVANGAR. You know, if this goes to further overtimes, obviously, I don't know how much we're going to see from them on their T sides. I just think they're just mentally shot in that respect. But indeed, it is the CT side now, 17 apiece. Elite taking a lot of damage in those flames. But he kept an honest eye on things, so he knows that the CTs aren't doing anything crazy. There's a smoke line up towards the toilet position. James looking for a boost on the slide.
Yeah.
So he and Kika are in a very forward position now. There's no one in connector, so there's only so much time they can hold this position for. We've seen people in this spot before. Kika, very cheeky. Whoa. That's a beautiful transfer. Strafing as well. That's not easy to do. Elige was low because of the Molotov. If he wasn't, maybe he would survive that, but he's dead. 4 versus 4. There is a trade. And now AVANGAR being active on that short B position. You can see Sanji's creeping. That is much needed information for the CT side.
Kika going for that kill after already dumping like 5 or 6 bullets and having to swing and run and then that's insane. That's insanity. What a madman he is. Speaking of which, AVANGAR are going to be in for some mad action here soon because the push is coming in towards this B-bomb site. Everybody walking through the monster tunnel from Liquid. And I don't think this has been spotted, although the rotation's coming in into the high ground at least. And there is a player towards the water. Buster, nice pick on that. They know what's going on. Looking kind of good here for AVANGAR. 4 versus 3 on this defense. 30 seconds to go to plant this bomb. Just enough time here for Liquid to take this 1 kill at a time. Stewie will take down Adren. The flick is missed by Buster. Line up from Sanji in the back. The bomb's down on the ground. Stewie has to go back for that. Problems here. Big problems here for Liquid. AVANGAR looking like they may secure the 18th round. Stewie goes for the plant. He knows he has to get it done now. Looking for the next player. Trying to get those 1v1s. Sanji holding off. Trying to open up his AWPer. But he'll get the kill on the 1v1. Beautiful stuff from AVANGAR. The timing could not have been more perfect. And they're going to at least secure another overtime. But James, once again, they've got match point.
Crazy stuff. Another opportunity for AVANGAR. Sanji the man. Stewie with the brazen bomb plant facing the balcony. Did the best he could with the position, but this was crushing from Sanji. Such a difficult spot for Stewie 2K. And indeed, it's match point for AVANGAR. Full utility for both. The smoke goes out towards the T side of the tunnel. Might be gap in that one. Then again, maybe not. T's towards the playground. This is the plays. These are the plays we're talking about. You get that Molotov, force the smoke, and the CTs can go towards party. It generally slows things down. Elige will deal with it. I don't think that Molly's gone where it was supposed to. Well, I'll take some angles away. Not perfect. Okay. Not the normal smoke we're used to seeing, but it does take the divider angle away. Normally, a Molotov is thrown from the fountain in that position. Got some variation from Team Liquid. AVANGAR now focusing on the long position with 2.5 players. Sanji jumping on the site. Excuse me. And nobody in the toilets. Match point for AVANGAR.
Really deep position on Buster and Sewers. This is one of those really nice spots, but obviously there's lots of ways to deal with it. It's just an awkward angle if you're coming out of connector. You need the flashbangs and so on, but we saw Liquid trying this before. They got kind of shut down. AVANGAR don't have the rotation like they did in the previous time Liquid attempted this monster push. And so AVANGAR in a lot of trouble. There's a lot on Buster to get at least 1 or 2 kills from Suez and to hold that position so that there can be a split onto this retake. But 20 seconds, Buster's going to drop down, and that sound cue's hurt, but Stewie goes for it, and Buster gets the kill. So Buster will hold down the second position, as now we do get the AWP coming in as well towards Graffiti. Adren also there.
13 seconds on the clock. Elige was dropped. The bomb's on the floor. There are no smokes for any of these angles. Buster's being taken out. There is a flank from Kika. The bomb, is it going to get planted? Finally, it will be. Kika, is his timing going to be good? Nitro's looking. He may have heard the scope, Kika. He might have to play off one of his teammates, but Nitro's nervous. He's got so many different things to do. Naf takes a Dren out, and there's a beautiful peak timing. Kika may have just punched the desk again. Jamin in a 1 versus 3. He's got a kit. Nafly's got a superior angle, though, and we are not done with this just yet. Another deep breath from Liquid as they survive one more test. This is pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's interesting too, though, because I feel like...
Look at the stress!
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. For Liquid, there's a lot of stress. This is a match that they can't really afford to lose. Obviously, to be eliminated, you have to lose a best of 3 as well. So it is a situation whereby Liquid, with the quality and the depth and width of their map pool, that they should be fine to qualify, even if the worst does happen here. But obviously, you really don't want that to happen. That's not a good look, not a good start. AVANGAR, on the other hand, as you say, like there was all that stress and regulation, but they've just weathered an overtime, and they've made some good plays. So they might actually be gaining in strength here now against Liquid, as Liquids look to try to once again run this default. At least the most forward player. Keycard has a good off angle here. Will this be checked? Well, good timing. And now will he try to fall back, or is he going to hold this? He's worried about the trade kill. Keycard holds it down against Elise and then twists. And that was the spacing there between Elise and Twist. That was pretty bold, James. Liquid might actually be breaking a little bit here.
Keycard, the king of impact frags. 2 versus 4. Both teams with AWPs. Not the easiest thing to find these angles on the T side. Snowfly gets some information by accident. Adren's taken a very forward position. He's pushed through Monster. Always good to abuse the numbers when you have them. So he can be left in situ. Now, Liquid could go short B to B. That is a risk that AVANGAR are willing to take. They'd still be for a strong position on a retake with Adren through Monster, so they can take that risk and bolster the A bomb site. It looks like it will be the right decision. They've switched out for the AWPs, from the AWPs to AK-47s now Liquid, and they're moving into the site with 30 seconds, but almost seemed like there was some kind of rotation happening. Trajectory spotted, and Nafly walks into a strong angle. Having an AWP on bank can be really, really good for your team. Stops the cross to the site. Nitro now, he plants the bomb, 1 versus 3. Here's the rotation back towards the bank. He's got to realize that they're waiting for a rotation. What else could this possibly mean? But it's not a tough angle to walk into. That's the angle I was talking about. If you're the only person on the A bomb site, that's the angle to hold to make sure there's no flank, basically. Great cover, and something that you have to be aware of. Just like on Mirage, when you're in B apartments and you don't walk into that pixel angle. There's another one here on Overpass.
So there's, firstly, just mad respect to AVANGAR, because we talked about this before. This is a map where you do have to take risks in giving up positions. And as James mentioned, AVANGAR, they were willing to gamble based on a few factors to have Adren really deep to cover, because they're suspecting that for Liquid's perspective, it's too risky for them to suddenly go through connector and short with that unknown. And so what's safer is going Monster, so Adren can cover that. But then also, I wonder about that peak from Twists. Instead of just sacking a Liege, it was very late. Did they expect to catch him out of position, Keycard? Hard to say. Either way, AVANGAR, once again, they're looking really good right now. They're looking like they're hitting a flow. The boost on Jane, we haven't really seen this, but the timing is quite slow. Might just catch someone, and Liege will take it to the face, and that's a huge kill right at the start of the round. Uh-oh, Liquid are in trouble, James.
As a heavy favorite in this match, I feel like you see Liquid survive these horrible situations, these match points, and you think, okay, they're going to take control now. They're going to take control now, especially with the rounds that AVANGAR messed up on in normal time. But no, once again, we have AVANGAR. They're a round up, and they have a man up in this particular round, a minute on the clock, and it's a slow push from Liquid to clear certain areas out. AVANGAR could reset. James could be anywhere. And Buster's got a sniper as well, so there's still a hell of a lot of work for Liquid to do. Again, I think the CT side is where AVANGAR have to win this match. They've got to do most of the work. Jane will have the information with the pixel angle. Going to put a smoke down to create some space, but does he hold the outside now with the rifle on the inside? Well, there's no time for that because there's crazy action. Molotov down by Divider, 35 seconds Liquid all together. This is difficult for them. No flank just yet. AVANGAR being patient. 5 versus 3 for them and make it 2. Street's taken out. Now set a trade, but there's so much more to do. 25 seconds now. James gets the second last frag. Nitro, what can he do? 20 seconds. He can pick up the bomb, but can he even get to the sites?
Adren's waiting, just has to wait for the plant. He hears all the stepping, and a wide peek from Adren will secure the round. AVANGAR, 2 of 2 in this second overtime, looking to complete it. And that will give them 3 match points if they are to do so on their T side. Liquid, the pressure is couldn't really be on anymore at this point. Oh my God, what a game this has been. And just the ups and downs for AVANGAR. Again, as the overtimes go on, James, I feel like it just helps them because as we saw, they've calmed, it's allowed them to calm down. I think the build-up of tension in the regulation, that kind of overcame them. and cause a lot of mistakes, but they are looking much cleaner right now, much more confident.
A take of short B from Team Liquid. We saw this in the previous round as well. Again, short B is becoming increasingly important from round to round for both these teams to control. And Liquid are there. Nitro down to the Desert Eagle. And he's just spotting towards the A-bomb site. Where is James? That is one of the questions for Liquid to answer. They have a lot of utility for an execute. Again, some of these pushes from both sides haven't been perfect. The responses from the CTs, they haven't always had the smokes up on the site. That's mainly one for Liquid, but once again, the shadow advantage is just there. They bait the shot, though. There's Molotovs towards the barrels, and there are 2 fast frags for Liquid. Sanji, though, is still going to be a problem. 2 kills for him. Keycut blind. That's a brutal timing for him. 1 minute on the clock as Nitro plants the bomb.
That flashbang timing was unreal, so perfect. Twist now in such a deadly position. That deep position is so difficult. You have to turn all the way to Twist and then 180 almost to deal with a trade fragger. It's such a horrible spot to be in, but will they be able to trade him out? Will they look for this? James goes for it. White peak with a pistol. That's beautiful. Giving James a chance. 1 versus 1. He knows exactly where Stewie is. Around the pillar. Oh James connects it. Can you believe it? James, that is some nerves of steel. So focused, and he brings AVANGAR to 3 match points in this second half of overtime. Time 2. AVANGAR, they're in the strongest position they've been in all game to close this.
Holy shit.
What a white peak. That's so beautiful.
Look at this shot. Oh my god, that's so disgusting.
James is the man.
That is unreal.
Incredible.
Talk about delivering when you need to. 3 match points again for AVANGAR. I've lost count of how many they've had. That is the most clutch thing I've seen in a long time.
Just the fact that they commit in that way, like they communicate to each other. I don't know if they could have known where Twist was. Twist, from like killing the last player and then moving to that position, there was so much time between that, yet they move in a super chaotic situation and they communicate a trade that they're going to trade a guy there, and it's committed. And that is just amazing. What an amazing, amazing response from AVANGAR. I feel like we're making this all about AVANGAR, James, but I think in many senses it has been, because it's a mixture of them performing well, then sabotaging themselves, then bringing themselves back into confidence. And Team Liquid, you know, they probably are quite surprised with AVANGAR because Sanji's had great rounds, Keycut's had huge rounds, Buster had a really important rounds in the regulation, James has some really big moments. It's really only Adren that we've not seen anything dramatic from.
Well, he's delivering the kills as well. They don't have to be pretty. Some of the jobs are ugly.
3 match points, James. 3 match points for AVANGAR, surely.
All I can think about, you know, is those entries from Sanji with the MAC-10.
Yeah.
3 match points for AVANGAR. I did say they would struggle on their T side, but surely they've just got too much opportunity. We spoke about their kind of mental situation with the rounds they lost towards the end of normal time, but how did Team Liquid feel? Yeah. Especially Stewie losing that duel with James. He had a chance to win. There's got to be nerves for Liquid.
So AVANGAR already made the mistake in a situation like this where they were ready to close, where they kind of just fell over themselves. They were playing too scared. And I'm hoping that they've within the vacuum of this game, within the vacuum of like the last 15 rounds or so, that they've learned from those mistakes already. I'm hoping they will not repeat those mistakes. They've got 3 chances. That's not 2 chances to be squandered and 1 chance to then mess up because of the pressure. That's 3 rounds where they can try to run different rounds in which they think will be strong against Liquid. No position towards B. Liquid know this. They've got Suez control. Or posted up for Nitro on this long position. He's been smoked off. AVANGAR looking like they just want to set up an A set piece, but they don't have forward bathrooms control just yet. Elise is there close. Oh
my god, AVANGAR, they might rotate more people towards the A-bomb site. I feel like the short B information, Liquid on the CT side, the short B might just win a lot of these rounds in terms of position for the CT side. Elige waiting for someone to peek him, but they're so patient. Adren swings wide with the bomb, but the trades are here. Man advantage for AVANGAR. 19 seconds to plant the bomb. Nitro's got an angle on something, but he needs to be given something. He spotted one, a tag through the box. Not quite a kill, though. They've got to find kills here. Buster's going low as well, but they're still alive. A HE flying through the air. No one's going to fall to it. Oh, sorry, Keycut will. Molotov to hold Stewie in position. These next frags are really crucial. Buster's going to get traded. 2 versus 2. There's a kit for both these players for Liquid. They have to win this round. There's a smoke for one of the choke points, but will it be the right one?
Oh my god, James getting tagged down there. But here comes the defuse in the smoke. Can they find it with the spray going close? Sanji getting the Glock out. He's getting close. AVANGAR have done it. They've actually managed. They've managed to take down Team Liquid in the best of one. They've given Liquid a 1-2 start at the new Legends phase. That is absolutely unbelievable. At first, the AVANGAR take down Renegades, and now they've taken down Liquid in these best of ones. Unreal stuff. And James, again, they lost it. In regulation, they had it. They choked it away, and they still recover. So much respect for that.
Absolutely. That frag from James was off the charts, man, and it put them in such a strong position. So many more match points, just insurmountable. I don't know how close that defuse was.
Yeah.
I thought Twitch was going to get it. Their Glock was going all over the place, but that's a massive win for AVANGAR. A massive win and a terrifying situation for Liquid.
Credit to Sanji for actually pulling the Glock out and not just spraying the AK like crazily and then just being like, oh my god, I'm reloading now, where's my Glock? And he actually just gets the Glock out and he's kind of he's taking a more favorable angle, like swinging to the right, so that if he shoots bullets in, it's more likely to have more coverage of the player. So again, the fact that they had that focus, this is a team that's dangerous, man. They are dangerous, Jace. We don't know where they're going, like where their ceiling is going to be in the rest of these matches.
Yeah, they're all over the place in that respect, but what a game from AVANGAR. Man, that clutch from James, I can't get out of my head. But respect to Sanji, again, there's so many rounds where he's got an MP9, he's got a MAC-10, charging into the B bomb site, taking 2 players out with a MAC-10 in such an important round for them to get it that far in the first place. So many impact frags. Key cut with important ones. Obviously, Buster's gone nuclear. There was just so much going on there. But what about Team Liquid?
Yeah, what a struggle. What an exciting game. Looking at this game on paper, you think, okay, Liquid are going to just run through AVANGAR. It's going to be really easy, open and close case. But indeed, I think we kind of lack some of those crazy individual performances from Liquid, and they seem to be thrown a little bit by AVANGAR here, and they couldn't kind of figure it out in regulation in the ways in which they wanted. And my goodness, you can see overtime and the Mousesports and Navi game as well. Looks like Mousesports edged that one out.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see who Liquid might be facing in the 1-2 bracket, because I don't know if one of these favorites for like the deeper stages of the tournament is going to get eliminated in a really unusual matchup.
Right.
But we won't have to wait too long to find out. You can see the remaining matches that we have today. FaZe Clan versus Crazy. There's no slowing down in this schedule.
Absolutely not. That could be a really... If you're talking about 2 teams with similar skill sets, FaZe Clan and Crazy, feels like that, doesn't it? 2 teams with insane individuals. That's what's the most stacked element in terms of like where their strengths are for either team is in those individuals. So that should be really fun. I think it's going to be quite a scrappy game. So really looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. MIBR and G2 has just started on the main stream. G2 is 2-0 up on Inferno, so you can check that out as well while you wait for the next match here to start. FaZe versus Crazy. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be good. We've got the cousins against each other. I think that's another unpredictable one, especially in the best of one. I think it's maybe even a 50-50, but we'll find out very soon indeed. It's break time. We'll see you after the break for the next match.